Hi there. My name is Kevin, and I am from healthagentacademy.com, and I also handle training for new agents for a health insurance general agency. And I just want to take this time just to show you how to get an insurance license in the state of California. Now, again, the objective of this, just to make sure got the right people watching this video, what we're going to show you here is how to get a license to sell both life insurance and health insurance in the state of California as a California resident. If you're looking to sell insurance in California and you don't live in California, you want to first get a license in your state, and then assuming the state you live in has a reciprocal agreement with California, you'd be able to set up what's called a non-resident license. But we're going to show you how to get a resident license in the state of California. So the license we're going to show you is referred to as a full life agent. What that means is that it includes both an accident and health license and a life only license. In California, there are actually two different licenses, but you can apply to do them as one. Now, you can get just the accident and health license or just the life only license. Now, my recommendation is if you're going to go ahead and take the time and the effort to get a license, you might as well just invest just a little more time in studying just so that you can get both, because otherwise you'd have to go back in later on and take another exam, take another licensing course, and get whichever you didn't already have. So if you already had the accident and health, you'd have to then later on get the life only. You might as well just start from scratch and just have it all. So if you ever get the itch to cross-sell, or from the beginning, if you think you may want to cross-sell, so if you're going to sell life insurance, maybe to those clients you want to also sell health insurance or accident policies of some sort. So I always think it's a good idea, if you're going to go ahead and invest the time and effort, again, go ahead and just do both. But again, if you're going to just do one or the other, the steps we're going to outline for you will actually work for you as well. So just to show you what those steps are, I'm just going to briefly run through those steps. Down below, I've got more in-depth notes, and then I'm going to walk you through as well, more in-depth, but just to quickly run through that. First thing you're going to do is sign up for a pre-licensing course, and that's just a course to tell you a little bit more about insurance and what the expectations are of you as an insurance agent. And then you're going to want to get your fingerprints taken. Then you're going to schedule your exam, because you are going to have to sit for a state exam. And you're going to have to apply for both licenses. California, as I said, it's basically getting two different licenses, but you can get them both at the same time. And then you need to pass your test, and that is the state exam. So we'll walk through all that and tell you a little bit more about what is included on that exam, or just my thoughts on passing the exam. So now let's go ahead and walk through those steps. I'm going to show you the different websites you can go to. And again, the notes are down below if you want to have more detailed notes on this. So here you can see on this page, I would recommend, it's not a bad idea just because I try to keep this video as up to date as possible, but every now and then they may change the requirements. So it's not a bad idea to come over here. You can click on requirements, and like, for example, if you wanted to see accident health is there, life only agent is here, again, another accident health, but this is for the life agent, which is again both life only and accident health. It's just the term California uses. So if I clicked on that for life agent, it would take me to the page where I could get a little bit more information. And again, it's telling you that basically since 2008, how they split it up between the two licenses. But you can go in more in depth to see exactly what you need to do to get those. And again, there's a frequently asked question page. Now, we're going to show you exactly what I've found works pretty much across the board in just about every state. And we're going to, again, specifically talking about California. So first thing you're going to do is, after you've just double checked just to make sure that you got all the steps you need to follow, you're going to go over here to sign yourself up for a licensing course. Now, you can sign yourself up for a variety of different courses. Now, what I would recommend looking at is the track record of the course. Not all courses are designed the same. So sometimes you can take courses that maybe every night of the week you meet for a couple hours, or certain days of the week you meet for 3-4 hours, or whatever the case is. You can have in classroom settings. Now, personally, I'm a busy professional, and when I was taking um, my exam and taking the licensing course for it, I wanted to make sure that I could weave it in, fit it into my busy schedule. And that's what I like doing at the online format. And since I've been doing training for new agents, I've gotten to see which courses work and which don't. Now, in Florida, where I do most of the training, Florida is a state that puts out pass rates. In fact, Florida even publishes pass rates um, by the licensing course. And I found that License Coach has a very good product. They're always updating it, and actually they have some of the highest pass rates in the industry in the states that I've looked at that publish that. So again, California, I don't have those exact numbers, but I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say the course is a quality course and it works. And actually, the folks at License Coach, were nice enough to give a coupon code to anybody watching this video. So what you wanted to do, if you wanted to sign up for it, just go over here, type in the state. So you would type in California, and then click the little thing here that pops us up in the bottom, then click go. And then basically just kind of follow the bouncing ball, picking the appropriate course. Now, here you do have to decide which direction you're going for. So I would recommend, again, if you're going to do life and health, click this one here. You can see it's a 52-hour course, whereas if you did life only and health only, it's 32 hours a piece. So you'd be saving yourself 12 hours because you would only have to take the 12-hour ethics course once, as opposed to having to take it twice if you signed up for those two separately, like at different occasions, like you took the life only and then a year later you took health only. So again, you might as well just go ahead. Doesn't cost you anymore to do the life and health. So again, my recommendation is do life and health. And again, if you do decide to go with License Coach, just make sure to look down below because you can save yourself a little bit of money by using the coupon code that they were nice enough to provide. So once you've got yourself signed up for the licensing course, what I would recommend to go ahead and do just to get this started and get the process going is you're going to go ahead and get your fingerprints taken. Now, on this page, this is, again, from the California Department of Insurance. They refer to themselves sometimes as CDI. So if you are looking at here and you see CDI, that's what they mean. They're referring to themselves as CDI, which is short for California Department of Insurance. A couple things you would need to do. You would go over here to Accurate Biometrics, or you can call that phone number there, and you could set up your appointment where you go to get fingerprinted, which is just part of the background check. And then what they also want you to do is right over here you see a live scan request form. Basically, you would just take this form with you when you go to get fingerprinted. That's loading here real quick, but you just fill this out. It's a pretty simple, basic form, and you take that with you when you go to get your fingerprints taken. So again, I recommend try to get this done early on so you're not holding up the process, because I've seen it happen to people before where they wait until the very last minute to get their fingerprints done, and then there's always processing involved. So always try to get it done early so that way when you go to take your exam, you're not having your fingerprints and your background check holding up the process. So that way you can start selling and hopefully making money as quickly as possible, and of course helping clients. So then the next step you would do is go ahead and schedule your exam. And this is the vendor that California uses. So you essentially just create an account and then register and schedule your exam. And then of course, they would tell you like where the closest exam center would be and where you could take it. So just make sure to schedule that. And again, I recommend trying to schedule it fairly early on. I would double check their policies as well. So when you register, just make sure like how much time you have to reschedule if you need to. Because what I think the best thing to do is when you're about halfway done with a licensing course, if you schedule the exam, then what you could do is just have it on the calendar, because sometimes exam centers fill up quickly. Sometimes they have lots of availability. Sometimes they fill up quickly. It just depends on the exam center in your area and what else they have going on. So you want to go ahead and just get it on the calendar. So again, you have something to look forward to. You know that it's going to be at a certain date and time, and you don't have to, again, hold up the process. So I remember when I took my exam, I remember making the mistake of waiting until the very end, until after I had already taken the licensing course, and then I couldn't get in for about 2 weeks. So to take the exam. So it kind of held me up a little bit. So I would recommend just getting this done early on, or at least scheduling it. Now, again, you need to finish your coursework first, but you can always reschedule it later on if you need to. But again, check the policies of PSI before you sign up, just so you know for sure how much time you have basically to reschedule if need be. So if the second half, for example, of the licensing course is taking a little bit longer than the first half, then of course you can always try to reschedule. All right. So then what you also need to do is fill out this new application. So this is with the Department of Insurance, filling out your application to actually get your license. Pretty simple and straightforward. Ask quite a few questions. As with every state, I always recommend be as honest as possible whenever it asks you anything about your background. I've seen a lot more leeway from Department of Insurance or Department of Financial Services in various states, pretty much across the board, whenever people are more honest and upfront about anything in their background. Now, if you have nothing to worry about, then you have nothing to worry about. But if you do have anything that you may be concerned about, always divulge it. Always be truthful. It's just the best policy in general to always be upfront and honest with people. So once you've gotten that taken care of, then it'll be time to take your test. So the thing about the exam is, and again, California, I haven't found where they put out the pass rates, but I can tell you pretty much across the board in most states that do put the exam pass rates out there, it's pretty much around 50%. So that means half pass, half don't pass. Now, again, sometimes if you have a good licensing course, you may have a higher pass rate, or they may have higher pass rates for their students, which means you may have a better chance. And again, that's one of the reasons why I like license coaches, because they generally have higher pass rates, and that is something that, like, for example, the state of Florida does publish those, and they're one of the highest. But again, across the board, I've always found that they have a good product. But again, about the exam, sometimes people get really nervous. What I would do to take a little bit of pressure off yourself is just remind yourself that every agent out there has taken the exam and passed it. I took it, I passed it, you can too. So again, just look around all the different agents that sell life insurance, health insurance. They've all passed it. It's a little bit of a, I guess you could say, rite of passage. But again, once you get the exam done, then you're done. You don't have to worry about it. Then it's about learning how to best take care of your clients. But the key is you just got to know the basics, and that's what the exam does. Now, another little piece of advice I like to give people is that whenever you're studying for the exam, there's always going to be certain topics, there definitely were for me, there's always going to be certain topics that are easier to grasp than others, and some that are harder to grasp than others. Now, for the stuff that's a little bit more difficult and more challenging, if you're having trouble really understanding a certain topic, I've always found that the best way to learn something is to teach it. So what you could do is try to take a concept that you're having trouble understanding and explain it to someone that has no background in insurance. And the reason I say that is you're now teaching. So you'd be taking the role of teacher of a certain concept. And the nice thing is, too, it's good practice for when you're in insurance, because you're having to explain what can be pretty complex topics, but you have to explain them in layman terms that someone not in the insurance business understands, because once you pass the exam, it's less about being able to regurgitate terms and things of that nature, and more about being able to explain in helpful ways to people. So the more you can start practicing that, you're actually just one step ahead of the game in your actual insurance career, because the whole point of taking the exam is so that you have your license so you can help clients get insurance. So again, don't stress out too much about the exam. If you don't pass it the first time, don't worry. There's a lot of really smart people out there who didn't pass it the first time. So just study hard, take the course serious, and you should really have no problem down the road passing. Again, it may not happen the first time, but it's possible. I mean, I passed the first time, and I know a lot of people have passed the first time. And I also know, like I said, a lot of people that didn't pass the first time. And they're some pretty smart people. So, but again, they eventually passed. So if you put in the effort, you will be setting yourself up pretty well to pass. There's, again, no guarantees, but try to take some of the pressure off. Just study hard, and you'll give yourself the best chance. So if you think you're ready to start this career, insurance really is an exciting career, and it's been good to me. It's been good to the people I've worked with, and it's a very rewarding career because you really are helping people. So if you're ready to get started, I would go ahead and just get the process of getting your license started. And first thing you got to do is sign up for the licensing course. So I would just go ahead and go out there, sign up for a licensing course. Again, you can use whatever course you'd like. You can find all kinds of different ones if you search online. If you want, you can use the one I recommend, and their link and the coupon code are down below if you'd like. So once you do get up and running and you have studied hard and you pass that test and you have your license, you're going to want to know more about insurance and learn from other people. And I think the best thing to do is find others in the business. And one way you can do that is if you go to healthagentacademy.com. You can sign up for our mailing list. We'd love to pass along some tips and information to you just to help you as you grow along in your career. So best of luck in your new career in insurance, and thank you for watching this presentation. Thanks.